Peace, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slant Hope, and I got another video for y'all. In this video, I am going to be talking about polygyny, not polygamy. Polygamy means both sexes can partake in multiple husbands and wives. Polygyny means that's strictly for the man. The man can have multiple wives, not the woman, right? And my belief is that men are polygynous by nature, right? I know some of y'all not gonna like what I gotta say, and some women probably gonna come on here talking about if the man can do it and the woman can, and I think that's the problem, right? A lot of women think they can do what men can do, but if you ask most women would tell you that they can't just have sex with anybody like that. They're probably lying, but most of them will tell you they have to have some type of mental connection. Most of them will tell you they catch feelings, etc. and so forth, right? So they're a little different. You do have some feminine men who have a lot of women tendencies, who are and there's nothing wrong with being affectionate with a woman and liking a woman. The problem is the tender dick dudes who get a little coochie and they fall in love. You get what I'm saying? That's not usually the nature of men, right? But anyway, I want to talk about the rights, because men have rights over women and women got rights over men, right? And oftentimes, and especially when it comes to Islam, right, there's rights. And so I'm going to talk from an Islamic perspective, also from a regular perspective, because a lot of times in today's society, a lot of women want their rights from the man, but they don't want to give up. No, they don't even know what is entailed, or they don't want to give up their rights, right? They don't want to. It's like it's a give and take. So they want to benefit from a traditional man, but they don't have nothing traditional about themselves, right? Or they don't even reciprocate the behavior. So yes, it's like a losing battle for men. So I want to read y'all something real quick, right? Like in the Quran, right? In the Quran, we are allowed to marry for women, right? It says, then marry other women of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you fear that you should not be able to deal justly with them, then only one, right? That is nearer to prevent you from doing injustice. So it's clearly saying some brothers get this idea, not just Muslims, but men in general. And I'm just, I'm going from Islam to regular, right? Some men have the idea that, oh, I could marry multiple women, or they say like this thing like, oh, men are polygynous, or but they fail to realize that like this is kind of like talking about marriage. You still have a responsibility. Some men have this idea that I'm just supposed to be smashing chicks, right? And that's okay. And it's like, but there's no kind of like responsibility. You get what I'm saying? There's no responsibility. We're not getting married. We're not, it's just like it's a free fall. You get what I'm saying? But there's a responsibility that needs to be carried out. So I'm gonna read you something real quick, right? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was asked, "O Allah's messenger, what is the right that the wife of one of us has on him?" The Prophet said, "To feed her when you eat, to clothe her when you buy clothes for yourself, refrain from striking her face or cursing her, and to not abandon her except in the house." See, so this is the rights of the husband upon his wife. When you eat, right, basically food, clothing, shelter, right? Food, clothing, shelter, and to not treat her bad. Don't curse at her. Don't strike her in the face. Do not abandon her, right? Meaning be there for her, right? Comfort her. Treat her well. Except in the house, right? When you go to work, when you go out there for war, when you go out there to do whatever you need to do, right? Leave her in the house, right? The house is a protection for the women. The women don't even really have to go to the mosque if they don't want to, right? She's safer at home than in the streets. A lot of times when the women go out, they have to go out with a guardian. A lot of women are trying to trick the women, the Muslim women, to tell them, oh, this is not right, this is control. But guess what? These same other women complain about when they go outside, they're being catcalled, they're being harassed, they're being bothered by men, right? But then you're trying to tell the Muslim women that it's wrong, that they should be accompanied by a guardian, right? And then you want to be like, well, why should the world? Listen, the world is fucked up. It is how it is, and this is a protection for our women that they should have a male with them. The next thing was, and he was asked, like, what is the rights of the woman for her man? He said, the best woman is she who, when you look at her, she pleases you. When you command her, she obeys you. And when you are absent, she protects her honor and your property. Right? So the woman has a right over her husband, and the husband has a right over his woman. Right? But what's happening, what we're seeing is women are saying things like, you know, they want XYZ. They want the provider, they want the protector, they want the rights of the man. They want the traditional man. But then when it comes to their rights, just obedience. Nah, that's control. I don't gotta listen to you. That's part of the rights. Right? That's part of it. When you command her, she obeys. When you are absent, she protects her honor and property. How many women do that? Sometimes when you're not even around, these girls are cheating. These girls are doing certain things. They're stepping out of bounds. They're carrying themselves in a manner that you wouldn't approve of or you don't like. All in the pretense of, you can't control me. You can't tell me what to do. So it's not an equal exchange. It's not an equal bargain. It's women want the rights, but they don't want to give them. So I was saying this to the brothers, basically, that yes, although I believe we are polygynous by nature, it comes with a certain responsibility. They used to say this thing that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had the strength of 100 men because he had multiple wives. I believe he had like 11 or 13 wives, and whatever you do for one, you gotta do for them, for the rest of them, right? So if you sleep with one, you gotta sleep with the others. When you spend an hour with one, you got to spend the time with others. When you buy one something, you got to do it for the others, right? That's part of dealing with your wives in a just manner. That's why it says, if you fear that you're not going to be able to deal with them, with all them women, all them wives that you have, justly, then only one. Listen, man, I could barely deal with one woman, with one attitude. With, you know what I'm saying, with one cattiness and bitchiness and you know, shit that women do, right? I could barely deal with one woman doing all of that. Imagine 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain responsibility. So, and another thing is, some of these sisters have this idea that provider means whenever I want to get my nails done, you got to give me the money. Whenever I want to get my wig done, you got to give me the money. Whenever I want to do whatever I want to do, if I want a new bag, you got to get me that. If I want to go on a shopping spree, you got to get me that. Some of these women have that mindset. When in reality, and of course, some of y'all might say I'm coming from an Islamic perspective, but in a life in general perspective, providing means food, clothing, shelter. That's universal. Food, clothing, shelter, that shit got nothing to do with wigs, fake nails, and all them other accessories. It doesn't say I gotta buy you the most expensive clothes. It doesn't. This is why I say, brothers, you gotta pick your woman wisely, man. I personally don't go for the woman that wear the costume. That's just me personally, right? I can't do that. I can't be with a woman and raise children with her and build a family knowing that she has to wear a costume to feel good about herself. Don't believe them when they tell you, oh, they just doing it because they want to do it. I can't be with that's clear insecurity. Women that got to get surgery, women that got to wear a lot of makeup all the time. They always got to wear, like, that's clear insecurities. How can you build a foundation with a woman who doesn't feel pretty in her natural state, who doesn't feel cute, who doesn't feel like she can just go to the store naturally, who doesn't, like, no, what are you doing? So, and then if you do deal with those women a lot of times, oftentimes they feel like that bill of that extra shit that you don't need becomes your responsibility. So this is just part of it. I just wanted to talk about that. Like there's rights that a man has for his woman and a woman has for her man. And if you want to take it away from Islam, it's just, you know, traditional women, traditional men. There's non-traditional women. There's non-traditional men. And I think the non-traditional women should be with non-traditional men, right? And traditional women should be with traditional men. That way it kind of like balances out. But let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comment section. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you stay blessed. Peace.